typically, we would have someone from Umbraco HQ come up here and tell you about all of the great things and why Umbraco is fantastic and why you should be using that. And the fact that you're here, I think, shows that you know Umbraco is fantastic already. We don't need to tell you how great it is. So I decided we'd do something a little bit different for an opening. We're going to do a community keynote. I've spoken to a few select members of the community, and I asked them one very specific question. What are you, personally, excited about in Umbraco? What's been great for this past year? What are you looking forward to for 2023? And so we're going to hear a couple of those things. We're going to see a few live demos. Let's pray that those work out okay. Yeah, it will all be fine. And hopefully this can just give you a little bit more fuel for that, as I say, one of the most important areas, one of the most important years coming up where Umbraco can really be at the forefront of open source CMS solutions, or I think, as you'll hopefully see, the product's in a really, really good place.
I am Busra Sengul, .NET and Umbraco developer working at Bump Digital, one of those bumpsters, and I am joining you from Istanbul, Turkey at the moment. And first of all, I'd like to thank all the people who are organizing and supporting this event and giving me the opportunity to join online, even though everything is going back sort of normal. I first met Umbraco around 4 years ago and had to work with version 4, 6, and 7 that time. And then 8 has launched and things got a bit more brighter. Before the first year was over, I had the chance to join the community as well. I actually dive into the community, sort of. After seeing how welcoming, fun, and heartwarming the Umbraco community is, I've decided to try other local .NET and Azure communities. So I'd like to emphasize here by repeating, Umbraco made me realize that open source communities are a great way to make great friends or networking, finding jobs, improving yourself, learning from your peers, and so on, depending on what you're interested in. The thing that I most love about Umbraco is Umbraco CMS keeps up with the latest technology and gently forces us developers to learn and try new ways of things with the latest technology. That's very valuable, especially to people like me with an unfillable hunger for learning. As Umbraco uses .NET 5 and .NET 6 with version 9, 10, and 11, these have opened me doors to do some talks, submit articles, and even record a video for various events. I've done a joint talk with Callum about how and when to use different Azure containers, and even just by preparing the talk taught me a great deal. For example, running an Umbraco solution in a Docker container or Kubernetes, depending on how much traffic your sites get. Deploying your Umbraco site to a container is as easy as a few clicks on the Visual Studio to create a Docker file, then run a few commands, and that's it. Your Umbraco solution is in a container. As you see in the slides, perfect. I am also in the documentation creators team, which is now retired, but it's a fabulous way to get into the community. Well, documentation is one of the biggest tools for any software, and the creators team's main goal was to help community and HQ all things about Umbraco CMS documentation. After joining the team, first as an intern, then as a permanent member, we've made structural changes on the documentation, created templates to guide community members to contribute, created a doc samples repo for version 9, 10, 11 to show some of the best practices to the developers, sort of forced HQ to move on to a new platform to maintain new versions of documentation, which is ready for testing at the moment and will be live on the 1st of December. And there's a cheat sheet coming up shortly, something you know about version 6 cheat sheet, and you'll like it. And I was also given the opportunity to fill Sophie's place as a temporary steward while she was on maternity leave. and I could see closely how HQ works, Umbraco's visions and values, which gave me a really great insight. For Sophie and HQ to consider a community member to fill her place actually tells a great story here. And as a bonus, I could have tested my leadership skills. Another aspect I really very much appreciate is Umbraco community's way of celebrating contributions. Contribution doesn't mean only you write code for Umbraco. It might be a general term, but as long as you're friendly and helpful, they make sure you get recognition for them. And I am proudly MVP twice. But it's not just that. Whoever I met the first time at a festival event or a meetup I joined or organized, doesn't matter if I've done a talk or not. They are there to cheer you up and applaud you for your achievements. I've written an article about imposter syndrome, and for people like me who have the imposter syndrome, how communities like Umbraco's approach to you is so important and can even change your career and relatively can change your life. Well, I don't think I have enough time to tell every aspect of the things I love about Umbraco and open source communities here, but it does have a big impact on me and my career, and I am looking forward to have more and more in the coming years. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Busra. That was so lovely. I'm sure people are well aware of the great work that Busra's doing, but yeah, no, I think that just shows how awesome she really is. Thank you, Busra. Of course, we've got plenty of other people we need to speak to as well. We're going to skip this. I'm sorry. Just for time. But the point I was going to make here is that with Umbraco, and Busra mentioned there, the modern .NET platform, we can do so many powerful things. I'll be doing a talk next week in Denmark about how you can run Umbraco anywhere, and I mean anywhere. On a fridge, on a phone, on a watch, doesn't matter. The new, the modern .NET platform, .NET 6, we can run and write mobile apps with .NET. I can connect and use the Umbraco libraries directly on an iPhone. I can host a SQL-like database directly on an iPhone. It's really, really powerful. And these are just some of the things that with Umbraco now evolving and keeping up pace with the .NET platform, you can do just those things. We will skip ahead though. Another thing that people are particularly excited about at the moment is Playwright. And we wanted to find a way of trying to squeeze this into the schedule. So, ahoy, let's invite Jason up onto the stage. He'll share something. Yeah, I think I'll need just
try
and speak more directly into
Oh, okay. Oh dear. Yeah? Am I heard? This is going to be a disaster. No, it's fine. Yeah, it's fine. Right, so I'm on, this is a VM on a Mac. I'm on a stage. So many things could go wrong here, except, so hopefully I've got a website running. Yes, ahoy, me hearties. That's a website. Hopefully Umbraco is still running. So I just left all this on the virtual machine. So Playwright, three things I'm really excited about for Playwright. And I'll just bring up, oh gosh. How do I, no, just want to minimize that. There we go. Nathan said I could share this. This was on Discord this week. Playwright is to testing what Elon thinks he is to Twitter. So, I've got a nice black bar for it, but anyways. I have, so the first thing I'm excited about, and I can just show you the code, and hopefully I can zoom. No, that's not intuitive. Come on, plus. There's a plus?
Oh, dear.
Woo. How do I undo this? Oh, it's because it's done it in the. Okay.
Control plus.
Control plus. Control. Ah, yeah. Okay, you can see it. So, visual regression testing. I had to do a huge project at the end of last year, beginning of this year, in Cyprus, doing visual regression testing. It was horrible, but I did it and I made it work. In Playwright, it's 2 lines of code, 4 and 5. This is a Playwright test. I can prove to you that it works. I've just run a test. If you can just see it up there. 6 tests passed. Does that zoom as well? Oh, look at that. Good. Okay, fine. 6 tests have passed. I'm conscious there's not much time as well. So I'll just... Oh, yeah, I know. So This is a terrible example. You'd never want to do this. But if I change the title of this page and save and publish, there's a spinny wheel there. There we go. We'll explain the spinny wheel in a minute. And I run my test again. It's going to fail, which is what I want it to do. But the nice thing about this is, yeah, here we go, complaining. This VM could have been quicker, couldn't it? Hey, and I have a failed test. It's opened in my browser. It's lovely. And look, if I scroll down, I can see what's changed. If I can click and drag. No, what? Where's the... Oh, yes, that's what I changed, the title. This works, there we go. So we've got an actual, an expected, and I've got a nice clicky thing I can drag. So I thought it would actually change the... Yeah, there we go. It's very small, but it does it. Terrible use case. You wouldn't want to do that on your homepage, but there are lots of scenarios where you want to check if something is visually changed. I've worked with loads of clients where the footer must not change under any circumstances. You can test for that, and in Playwright, it's really easy. As I say, 2 lines of code running on a test server. The next thing is, if I just open a different Visual Studio solution and cancel that. It's commands, no, yeah. I want to right click. What's a right click in?
Two fingers.
2 fingers. It's making a lot of assumptions about my anatomy, isn't it? Right. So, the other cool thing is Playwright runs in .NET. There's 2 really cool things I think about that. Number one is, and I guess on the theme of Umbraco anywhere, you can run Umbraco inside your unit test project. You can run Umbraco inside your testing assembly, boot it. I'm about to boot it, which is why I closed it. So this is an end unit test. I just sort of copied the most of it from the docs, coming from the Playwright docs. Did a bit of magic, which I'll share the repository later so you can see. Did a little bit of magic to boot Umbraco inside of my test assembly, which is this one here, Sophocles. And I've got a test. And if I find my test explorer and run it, and I'll talk about it while it's running, there's a bug at the moment where I can only run 1 test at a time on this VM. I don't know why. It's not going to take 7.5 seconds. It's going to take way longer than that. But just while that's doing the test, I'll talk about the code here. So I've created a dashboard in Umbraco. That dashboard is a class. It's a class in C# that exists in my project on the right, if you can see it, called Shakespeare. That's how I get it to work in Umbraco. I create a class. Well, if I've got a class in assembly, I can use that class for my tests. So I've got a dependency on Shakespeare in this test project. I can use my JSON's Pirate Dashboard class here. And knowing what I know about that class, i.e. what sections it's got in it, and other bits, I can run tests with it. So I don't need to have magic strings in some JavaScript testing library somewhere. I can just use my C# code to orchestrate my tests. And then I can do something also very cool, because in Playwright, what you need to do is target stuff. So you need to know what you're going to tell Playwright, what it's going to click on to do things. In Umbraco, though, the name of the thing you click on is different to the name of your class or whatever, and you need to get that from the localized text service. Well, because I'm running Umbraco inside my testing assembly, I can use Umbraco's services. So anything that Umbraco is doing, I can just steal, and then make my tests better, or not care about, I don't need to care about a magic string somewhere. I can just, use the localized text service. So hopefully this has all just worked. Oh, no. And I'll just show you quickly, because if you didn't believe me that it was running Umbraco inside the test assembly, right click, come on, 2 fingers. Open folder in File Explorer. This is a video that my test assembly, I double-clicked that this morning. So this is a video of Playwright doing what it's doing. It's logging in. It's taking a little while to log in. There's a spinny wheel, frame by frame. We can see that it has, hopefully, there we go. The back office is loaded. We can see that my pirate dashboard is there with some square brackets around it because I was naughty and didn't translate it. But then it's clicked it, and we can see, come on. There we go. It says ahoy, which hopefully, if I close this, oh, there we go. Yeah, which is what I wanted my test to do, and in my test explorer, my test should have, should have passed. So I think that's really cool that you can just run Umbraco inside my test assembly and do all kinds of cool things. I think that's going to make it much easier for certainly testing client sites because, and just like that's using exactly the same database that I just used to run the regular site. I can supply a different configuration to it to test against different databases. You can, the world's your oyster, but yeah, I think that is really awesome. Then the last thing, which I can show you, so we've got, Playwright running next to Umbraco and doing a test. We've got Playwright, Umbraco running inside my test assembly and using Playwright that way. But then also you can put Playwright inside Umbraco because it's just a .NET assembly, right? So I've got a notification. What's it doing? Can I remember? I've got a content publish notification that's, most of this is just making sure I get the home page. But down here, I'm creating an instance of a Playwright browser, in this case Chromium, and I'm doing a screenshot of the home page. So again, probably not the kind of thing you might want to do in a normal site, but anything that Playwright can do, you can orchestrate inside you can run from inside your Umbraco app for any reason. Actually, snapshotting the home page, that's been a client requirement before. Every change gets emailed to the client. So you can do it. But also, I didn't make this a fire and forget, which is why we saw the spinny wheel and it took me ages to publish earlier, because I was lazy. It is async, but also make it a background task rather than doing that and make it nicer for your editors. But hopefully, even if it was all a bit fast, hopefully you're excited as I am now about three cool things I think you can do with Playwright. I'll let you go.
Thank you so much, Jason. Now I'm excited. I've seen Jason on our internal Slack raving about this for a few. Just press them.
From Chrysler.
He's been raving about this for a while now, and it's really cool to see it in action. So for those that don't know, Playwright is, of course, a testing framework, but Umbraco is now using that directly in their core as well, so for all of their back office tests. And you can contribute Playwright tests to the Umbraco CMS as well. So another way you can get involved with contributing to the community. So we're halfway through our community keynote speakers. We have two more, and this time we're steering slightly away from the core CMS, as we've been talking about, and more to the community side and the awesome things we can be doing as a community. I'd like to invite Paul Seal to come and talk about how we can level up our knowledge.
Good morning. Right, let's see how long I can make this last for. So I'm Paul Seal. I work for Moriyama, and I'm Umbraco Certified Master. I love the Umbraco community just as much as Busra. And I did a talk at Dutch Fest. Didn't get accepted for this, to be honest with you. So we've put it into the keynote instead. And it's going to be a whistle-stop tour of it, and I want to just demo something as well. So I thought about gamifying learning with Umbraco and learning in reverse. And cheating is learning, basically. Nothing says you can't Google for anything in our job. We all Google everything, for reference and things like that. Gamification is a process of applying game mechanics to a non-gaming environment to increase engagement, happiness, and loyalty. So we want to gamify learning, gamify learning, and this slide is in the wrong order, but it's okay because This is to thank everyone during Hacktoberfest who contributed to the actual source code of the quiz site that I'm going to show you in a moment. The quiz site is all about gamifying learning, and the things that people like when they gamify something is they want an action. So we thought, why not test your knowledge with a weekly Umbraco quiz? It's social. Let's compete with others and share your results online. It's mastery. So you can get a score for your quiz and rank on the leaderboard. Now, the leaderboard ranking is very important to some people, especially one person in this room, who has embraced cheating is learning. Not really. No, I don't know if he's cheated, but no one says you can't look things up. You can get badges and achievements, and you can learn in reverse, as I've already said. But also, what's really good is you can submit your own questions. And this is the main point, is that we can all help each other learn the latest Umbraco by sharing a resource, and you turn it into a question. So a typical example is a site domain helper that Mark shared, and then Callum shared in the talk as well. And some people didn't even know it existed. So if you put it into a question, and someone either looks it up to find the answer, or they get it wrong, and then at the end they see a link to actually find out more about that question and about that topic. And then hopefully that registers in your head as a reference, so that later on, when you need to do something like that, oh yeah, I remember that, I got it wrong on the quiz. And you can either go back to the quiz, or you can look it up because you know what to look for now. You know that exists. So the website, I think this is going to be the website one. Introducing. Yeah, communityquiz.net. Hopefully that QR code works for you. Or you could just go to communityquiz.net. It's up to you. And you can have a look. So Jason's going to help me. Well, maybe Callum should help me, but Callum's going to help me. Yeah. Please hold. Oh. Here we go. That's all right. No, we did have a altered leaderboard. Never mind. So Lee is still top on this version of the leaderboard. So yeah, basically there's a leaderboard. There's quite a lot of people on it now, I think. Maybe like nearly 80 people that have had a go. You can ignore my score. I've actually seen all the answers. So I curate the quiz and everything like that. But yeah, this is what you see when you go on the site. There's a leaderboard, and you can actually, there's no point looking at Lee's because it's like, it just goes all the way up. It's all the way across. But yeah, there's a chart as well. Put a bit of a chart.js in there for you. And there's badges and things like that you can do. Hopefully that, yeah, woo. So you can see the badges that you get. You can click on people's profiles and stuff like that. So it's easy to, well, I say easy to register. If it doesn't work, you can actually submit a PR to make it work properly. But yeah, so you can just go to the quizzes page. Even if you've not registered yet, don't think, oh, Lee's top. We can get him off top. You can just click through and do all the quizzes. You can catch up. So don't be disheartened that the 6 quizzes already done. Let's just quickly go to one of the quizzes. And then I'll go to the back office and show you something, and then I'll get off the stage. So I've already completed this. I've got 9 out of 10. Let's see all the correct answers. But don't worry, it does it one by one, and these 2 are just contractual ones. So which is the best Umbraco goal partner? I'll wait for Moriyama, by the way. Basically, I'm giving you the answer just as a... This was actually on the talk last time, and then Umhost, because they helped me host it. You know, anyway, so that's the sort of thing. It's questions like the Umbraco official tests, but look, you've got more information about this. When you go back to it, you can learn a bit more. I need to learn how to use a Mac. There you go. But that's the whole idea, is to help. So can we go to, oh no, back office. Back office. Just in the browser, it's all right. God knows. Please hold again. It doesn't matter. We don't have to do the back office. Let's go back to the slides if you like. I'll tell you about the back office. It's using Construct. So thanks to Matt from Vendor and Construct fame, he gave us a free license for it. So we can manage all of the submissions of questions, the quiz results, and everything like that, all with using Construct. And I've used the badges a bit, I've used the filters, all sorts of good stuff. But I don't want to ruin Matt's talk, to be honest with you, so I'm not going to show you. So anyway, yeah, it's open source, it's on GitHub. You can see how it's built, and you can contribute with issues and pull requests. And so you can learn from the actual source code for this site as well, which was hosted on Linux until it got a bit slow, so we put it on Windows. But oh well. Yeah, and then what's the next slide? Join the community, take part in the quizzes, share your results online. There's going to be Matt Wise has done a PR to make it so you can show your score and your profile picture. And I got this score on week whatever. So that's coming out soon as well. But I just need to finish it. And yeah, thank you very much to Unpost and Construct. And I think that's me. Thanks, everybody.
It's really amazing to see how the community is coming together to find solutions like this and contribute back and yeah, you know, help each other learn, help each other level up. So thank you so much for that, Paul. And we're now on to our final speaker for the community keynote. We have the wonderful Emma Burstow.
Hello, thank you. I'm the one on the left. That you don't need to worry about the other guy. He doesn't even do Umbraco. Okay, so this year is about three things for me. It's people, places, and things. And I tried to break it down into what I was most excited about that involves those things. So the biggest thing on my agenda right now is the MVP program. I loved being an MVP. Sadly, I can't be one anymore because I'm employed by HQ. So it had to be capped at like 4 times, 3 times. I can't even remember, I had so many. But one of the things that we wanted to do was build a program that really represented all the contributions that take place in the community. Source of great frustration to me that we're not always able to ferret out the good work that's being done. We know that people are doing a lot. They're not always show-offs like me and shouting about it. So we have designed a platform where you can tell us what you are up to. What we hope is that that will encourage lots of you to tell us lots of things about all the wonderful community activity that you do inside and outside of the Umbraco community. We're done celebrating just the same contributions year after year, whilst most of this ecosystem is built by people who don't do code contributions. So carry on with your code contributions because, you know, my job depends on you doing those too. But also, please tell us what else you're doing. So our new MVP site is built on this amazing product called Umbraco Forms. Because, you know, if we've got an in-house product, we really should be using it. And it's set to launch at the end of this year. It will always be open. You can always tell us about the good stuff that you're doing. There will, of course, be a cut-off date so that if you want to be considered for 2023, you need to get all your info in by a certain point. And the best part about it, you can save your progress and come back. Keep filling in slowly. Not even the Microsoft MVP form allows you to do that. So we're winning in that sense. So that's people. Places, the pandemic has brought us together in a bunch of weird ways. We want to continue with the one good thing that came out of it, which is that right now we've got friends in America, we've got friends in Australia, we've got friends all over the world who are joining us probably to watch this. So hello, wherever the camera is, hi. We're coming up with new ways to be together and apart. Most of that's coming from you. So we want to keep making sure that we're having hybrid events, we're looping people in. We want to do more time zone friendly things. So I'm trying to make normal and fun the idea of viewing parties, not where we all get together in offices or anything like that, but where I sit in my pajamas in my evening and join people in other time zones. And we'd love for you all to come too, to say hello to our other friends. And speaking of people in other places, I love shiny new things. I kind of had to make a personal thing because I wanted to go people, places and things and then work backwards from there, so forgive me. But my latest shiny new thing is this man. He is called Alan. Now, Alan is joining us from the 1st of December to be our developer relations person in the US. And I want you all to give him a huge welcome. Alan comes from a background of open source. He lives and breathes open source. I've put his Twitter handle here because The ex-teacher in me is not going to give you a talk without asking you to do something for me. So your homework, and I'd love for you to do it right now, is to welcome Alan to our community. I have not announced this to anyone else, and I've not announced it electronically, and he is not expecting this. When he wakes up this morning in America, in Charlotte, I want him to have a bunch of welcomes from the friendliest community on the planet. You are going to be seeing a lot of him. We cannot wait to welcome him. So, people, places, and things from me, thank you. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you so much, Emma. And I think that really just highlights how much awesome stuff is going on in the community. It's not just about the product, it's the stuff happening around it. Playwright testing, the new learning you're getting from the evolution of Umbraco and .NET going hand in hand, the open source contributions, and the ways we can level up our learning as well. So that was our alternative keynote. We do have Keck, who's going to be talking at the end of today to give you a summary of all of the Umbraco news. Now, we are running a little bit behind, but that's okay. We're going to make up for it. Coming up now, we have Ken Jacobson, who's going to do a talk about the new block grid coming in V11. But first, go grab a quick coffee, get yourself comfortable, 5 minutes, and we'll be back here very shortly. Thank you.